All right, you guys have spoken. You guys have made your voices heard on my Twitter. I put up a poll yesterday asking, should I try a 3-5-2, 3 at the back formation for the weekend league? And 74% of you guys said yes. So I am going to play 3-5-2 for the last 20 games of my weekend league. After this episode, I'm going to switch to 3-5-2. I'm going to try to find some custom tactics that work, and we're going to do it. Once again, if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, go ahead and follow me on Twitter. And it's not only because I'm trying to get more followers on Twitter. It's not only for me. I want you guys to have a say on this channel as to what I do, what kind of reviews I do, what kind of content I make. And the easiest way for me to reach out to you guys is for you guys to follow me on Twitter, because on Twitter I can make polls where you guys can vote and have your voices heard. Here's your Poulsen review. Let's get it. What's going on, YouTube? It's your boy, One Star Weak Foot, and we're back. This is episode number two of the day. This is the second episode, the second player review I'm dropping today, and it's gonna be none other than the man of the match, 88 rated Poulsen. I mean, take a look at this card. Look at it real closely. He's 6'4". He has all the stats in all the right places. He does have high work rates, which are not my favorite. I'm hoping that it doesn't really ruin this card. Once again, he has 3-star, 3-star. And 3-star, 3-star, once again, is not the best. You know, it's not the most ideal for a striker. But with everything else he's going to be bringing to your team, I'm hoping that I don't notice the lack of skill moves or the lack of weak foot. Before I go any further, though, once again, if you haven't liked this video yet, go ahead and smash the like button down below. And if you're not subscribed, go ahead to subscribe to this channel. We drop content every day. As you see today, sometimes we drop content twice a day, and all we do is play FIFA. We ain't got nothing better to do, so we record it, we put it on YouTube, and hopefully you guys enjoy the content. So yeah, let's look at the stats a little bit closer. He got 89 pace. His acceleration is not as high as I'd hope it would be with 89 pace, but that's pretty normal for somebody who's so big. His sprint speed looks A1. His shooting, wow, 99 attack positioning. That's the kind of stuff I love to see on the card. 91 finishing with 94 shot power. That also looks massive. His long shots aren't that good, 77. But I'm guessing with this kind of card, you're not really going to want to take long shots anyway. His passing stats are good and bad. So the good is his 89 short pass, his 87 curve. The bad, his long passing is pretty horrid. 56 long passing. His vision's pretty mediocre at 78. But he's a striker. I'm guessing that I won't be using his long pass too much. We'll see. His dribbling looks very, very nice for somebody who's 6'4". 89 agility is almost unheard of for somebody that size. He does have 93 reactions. He does have 89 dribbling. His ball control is on the low side at 82. And his composure is pretty mediocre at 81. His defending stats are actually really nice. I mean, you could, if you really wanted to, play this guy as a CM, and he'd fit in. I mean, he's big. He got the marking. He has the stand tackling. He has the interception stats, and his physical stats are all there. 85 strength, 94 stamina, 91 jumping with 92 aggression. So let's jump into the weekend league gameplay. Let's see how much I like this card. All right, so according to Footbin, this card's gonna cost you about 190 to 200,000 coins on the PS4 market to buy him off the market. Is he worth that money? Well, let me do the review and I'll let you decide. So, he has 89 pace, and that's really a nice thing to have for somebody so big. Normally, you got to pick either a big striker or a fast striker. He brings you the complete package. He's big and he's fast. In game, he does feel pretty fast. I was worried he wouldn't feel 89 pace being that he was so big, but in game, I would say 89 is a good representation of how fast he feels in game. He doesn't feel quite as quick with the ball than he does without the ball, but he does have a lot of pace. He has enough pace to beat the defensive line. He has enough pace to get in behind, and that's really what you're looking for with a striker like this. So his pace is going to be at 8.5 out of 10. His shooting, oh my. His attack positioning at 99 was not a lie. He has some of the best attack positioning I've ever used as far as a striker. He was just always in the right place. Well, when it came to build-up play, when it came to being in the final third, he just always found himself open in the right spots to get off a dangerous shot or a dangerous pass. he got off so many shots for me because of his attack positioning. I can't stress enough how good his attack positioning was. However, his finishing, in my opinion, did not feel like 91. I think that might have to do with some of his composure letting him down. I mean, his composure is only 81. It could also have to do with his balance being only 65. So sometimes when I'm shooting, he'll be off balance, and maybe that's affecting his finishing. But what I am going to say is that his finishing doesn't feel like 91. It feels more like 85. And he does finish when he's supposed to finish, but there were so many shots where I feel like he should have shot them on target and he missed the target completely. So I would say his finishing was a bit of a letdown. His shot power is definitely 94. Every single shot, whether you hit it or you miss it, is going to be a bullet. And I really enjoy that because if he does hit it on target, it's very difficult for the opposing goalkeeper to stop. So I would rate his shooting, his goalkeeping, his finishing, his attack positioning, all that at an 8.5 out of 10. His passing. Okay, so his passing is only 80, and I think he actually did pretty well because I did play him in a possession-based team. I had him drop in a lot back in midfield because of his high work rates, and he was actually a really good passer of the ball. I'm not going to lie to you, I was surprised. That could be because his short passing and his curve are very solid. I did utilize his long passes a couple times, his lob through balls. They felt very average, but they didn't feel as bad as 56, which is really good because I thought his long passes were going to be horrible, and that was not the case. They were just pretty decent. Overall, I would have to rate his passing at a 8 out of 10. Not bad for a striker, and definitely brings another facet to his game that allows him to really do a bunch of things for your team. He could pass. He could win headers, obviously. He's quick enough to get in behind. I really like what he brings to the team. Dribbling. Now, this is the big question, right? He's 6'4", but he does have high agility. So how does it play out in game? Well, in game, I feel like for a big man, he's actually pretty agile. I'm not going to lie to you. He could dribble a little bit for a big man. During delayed gameplay, I did play a game or two with him where the gameplay was a bit delayed. During delayed gameplay, he can feel clunky at times. I mean, that's normal for any player that's 6'4". His ball control is only 82. I did notice it a few times when I was trying to take first touches with him, and they were a bit heavy. But when you do have control of the ball with him, if you're trying to do the L1 fake shot, if you're trying to do simple skill moves, he does have the agility to beat a man. He does have the agility to hold his own in tight spaces, and you'd be surprised what he can really pull off with him. I would rate his dribbling again at an 8 out of 10. His defending, we're going to touch on real quick because he is a striker, but he's the kind of striker where he's so aggressive, he's so quick, he's so big, and he has some decent defending stats that if you're down a goal and you really want to put some pressure on the opponent, he's a really good player to do that with. I mean, he can surprise the opponent with tackles further up the pitch, just due to his pure physicality, his aggression, his defending stats. It's just another thing that this guy brings to your team. Because he does have high work rates, you will find that he drops back, but if he can actually add a tackle in, if he can actually get some interceptions in, which he is capable of doing, then it's actually not a bad thing overall. So I would say his defending's pretty good for a striker. Now let's move on to his physical. And his physical is insane, I have to say. This card in the air is probably the best card I've ever used in the air. He wins every single header, and his heading accuracy is on point. He was unlucky to not score a few more goals that were just saved by the goalkeeper because he would win the header, he would hit it in a nice place, like it would be a nice shot from a header, and the goalkeeper would sometimes save it. I mean, that's just FIFA 19 for you. But as far as winning headers, he is one of the most reliable headers of the ball on this game. I would say he's even a little bit better than flashback Ibra. His stamina at 94 means he never gets tired, even if you go high press. And his strength at 85 with his 6'4 frame means that he is very effective at shielding the ball. So I really did enjoy this card. If you get the rhythm of this card, if you finally learn how to use this card, you could do a lot of dangerous things with him because he can dribble, but at the same time, he could shield very effectively. So you could throw your opponent off balance. Sometimes you could dribble, sometimes you could shield, or sometimes you could just do the 1-2 pass because he is a reliable passer of the ball. So he is the complete package. The only thing I would say this card is missing is the weak foot and the skill moves. So overall, what would I rate this card? I would have to say this card is an 8.75 out of 10. I really enjoyed this card. He's pretty much a total package. He has the pace, the physical, the passing, the shooting, the dribbling, and he could put in a tackle and get interceptions in. I mean, what more can you really want from a card overall, especially at this point of the game when he's only going to cost you about 190 to 200, and he might even drop to like 150. this is a really great value, and I would say he's definitely foot champs ready. He's definitely playable at the highest level of FIFA. The only time where you might feel like he lets you down is, like I said, he tends to fluff some chances that he shouldn't be fluffing. But overall, I would say with everything he contributes to your team, he's definitely worth a go. So I'm going to go ahead and compare him to, you already know who I'm going to compare him to. I'm going to compare him to Flashback Ibra. Who is the better card? Let's find out. So pace-wise, Poulsen definitely has enough pace to beat a defensive line. I find that Ibrahimovic does not. Even when you sub him on, he just doesn't have that extra pace to bring that extra dimension to your team. So Poulsen's going to win that category. Shooting-wise, I do have to go Ibra. He has a better weak foot. He feels more reliable inside and outside the box. And that's not to say Poulsen is a slacker or he's lacking when it comes to finishing, but he's just not at the echelon that Ibrahimovic is. The one thing Poulsen does shooting-wise better than Ibrahimovic, though, is his attack positioning. I mean, like I said, his attack positioning is insane. However, I got to give the shooting category to Ibra. Passing-wise, I do have to go Ibrahimovic as well. It's actually pretty close because Poulsen has a pretty good pass on him, but Ibrahimovic is more of a playmaker than Poulsen, so I do have to go Ibrahimovic. Dribbling-wise, it's close, but I gotta go Ibrahimovic again, just because he has the 5-star skill moves, just because he's better on the ball overall. I mean, it's not a big difference, but in tight spaces, in small spaces, in tight gameplay, you're gonna want to use Ibrahimovic rather than Poulsen. Physical-wise, I do have to go Poulsen. I mean, Poulsen, I would say, is slightly better in the air than Ibrahimovic, which is very surprising. His stamina is way better. His strength does feel a little bit better in-game, and his aggression is definitely there. So I do have to go Poulsen in that category. So overall, who is the better card? It's actually a tough one. They're pretty close in terms of quality. I think that Poulsen does bring more to your team in the sense that he can do most of the things that Ibra can do almost as good as him, but he has the extra pace, he has the extra physical to really give the opposition a hard time, and most importantly, he has way more stamina than Ibrahimovic, and he's easier to link on your team. When you're using Ibrahimovic, if you don't have icons and you want to get him on 10 chem, there's not really any good players to link him to, there's not any meta players to link him to, whereas with Poulsen, you can use any Bundesliga player to link him, no problem. You could even use Eriksson to soft link him. I mean, there's more options when it comes to Poulsen. So I do prefer Poulsen over Ibrahimovic, but you can really go either way with it. I would say they're a similar quality. It just depends on what you're looking for out of a striker. So yeah, that's going to be my Poulsen review. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. Once again, don't forget to like and subscribe. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. But until then, later.